Hello, this is Miss Neesmith, and today we'll be talking about ways you can help your student at home so that they can be successful in school. So some of the areas that we'll be talking about today will be data, areas of struggle, how you can help, resources, and a summary of everything that we're going to go over. So from looking at the surveys you have submitted, and looking at the grades and data that I have collected from your students, I can see that reading comprehension and reading in general seem to be an area that we struggle with quite a bit. Reading comprehension for second graders is a difficult skill to learn because in first grade they had everything read to them and they had a lot of support. But now that they are in second grade, we're trying to get them to be more independent so that when they get to third grade and take the milestones, they have no problem reading and taking the test on their own. Another big thing that we have come across second grade is that a lot of our students can read fluently, but when it comes to asking questions about what happened in the story, it seems that they don't remember anything that they have just read. So your student may be able to read fluently, but may not be truly comprehending what they are reading in the story. So we're going to go over a few ways that we can help them build those comprehension skills. So right now we're going to go over a little bit more data. This is an average of all students in my second grade classroom. As you can see, we do struggle with reading comprehension, and we would like to improve it. When reading literary text or fiction, they struggle with identifying the characters in a story and identifying the setting in a story. We also struggle with reading informational text in general. The biggest concern with informational text is finding the main idea. A lot of informational text like this will ask you to find the main idea or find why the author is writing the story, and you have to find the clues as to, why the author wrote the story. It is important that we give our children opportunities to read at home just as it is important for them to read in school. One of the biggest ways that you can help at home is letting your child read to you and you asking them questions about the book. Letting your student be able to read aloud helps their fluency skills, and it helps them to retain some of what they are reading. If they're always reading in their head, you never know if they're reading the words correctly, if they understand the vocabulary, or if they're understanding the story at all. So it's important that we give our children opportunities to read the book out loud to you or any other family member, to give the student an opportunity to ask questions and for you to ask questions to see where they stand on comprehension of the story. When your child reads to you, make sure that you know that they are understanding what they are reading by asking them questions. They don't have to be hard questions, and I even made a list of examples of some questions that you could ask your student to see if they're understanding their story. Who are the characters in the book? Where does the story take place? If it's an informational text, what's the main idea? What is happening in the story? And asking why the author may have written the story or passage. That mainly is for informational texts as well. It's important that we ask our students these questions so that we can see their standing on if they truly understood what they were reading or not. If we see that our students are not understanding what they are reading, it is important to teach them to go back and reread the text if they don't understand. help them find the key ideas in a story so that they can come up with the answer to these questions. They have to be able to read a story, comprehend it, and answer questions on it on a test. So building that comprehension skill by asking them the question, and if they aren't understanding it, to go back and reread. Here are just a few fun websites that get your kids more into reading with endless supplies of books at their fingertips. Our first one is Storyline Online. This is a website where famous people read a children's book, and your children is able to watch and listen as the story comes to life with some of their favorite actors, actresses, singers reading to them. This is a good way to let them listen to something and then repeat some of these questions back or answer some of the questions that you may have after having them listen to the story. Another source would be Starfall. Starfall is a place where they can play games and while reading as well. Epic is our third one. Epic is one of my favorite online story places. It is thousands and thousands of books that your child can go and read for free. You can search any genre or interest that your student may have. If they're really interested in butterflies at the moment, you can type in butterflies into the search bar, and all these things about butterflies, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, will pop up, and your student can choose to have it read to them by the story, or they can choose to read it on their own. But I always like having Epic with my students in the classroom because it gives them more options than my personal library in the classroom and the library at the school. And our last two are ReadWorks and PBS Reading Games. Those are both two great resources, and I would recommend you trying these at home. While you're cooking dinner, have them play some of these games or listen to a story, just so that they're doing something that's going to help them build that comprehension skill and just listening to somebody else read a book. In conclusion, you do not have to read with your child every night, but it is important to make sure that we're keeping up and making sure that we know that our students are understanding what they are reading. If we see that they're not, take the time to try and read a story with them and walk them through the process of finding the characters and finding the setting, or understanding why the author wrote what they wrote about. There are so many resources out there for us to use that are free, and we should take advantage of them more to where we can let our students be more independent in their own reading, but we're still there to guide them and ask questions about what they're reading to see if they're comprehending. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to me give this important information. I hope that I helped you find some good resources and that you will take part in making sure that your kid is understanding what they're reading and how to help them better understand and learn how to comprehend when they are reading. Again, thank you so much.